you so very much. I am so pleased to be with you, members of the Formosan Association for Public Affairs, friends of Taiwan, supporters of free trade, and members of the Taiwanese American community. While American trade interests in Asia stagnate, the Chinese dragon is extending its claws even further into the Pacific. The China agreement that we have seen went into effect at the beginning of the year, and it was very worrisome, the ASEAN, while the White House and Democratic leadership in Congress allow the U.S. Korea Free Trade Agreement to languish without formal congressional action. Beijing continues to sing its siren song to seduce Seoul and Tokyo into joining a China-centered trade agreement. In June, the perhaps inaccurately named Economic Cooperation Framework Agreement, ECFA, between Taiwan and mainland China is set to be signed despite concerns about ever-growing Chinese economic influence on the island. Like the Trojan horse, which allowed the Greek invaders to penetrate the inner walls of Troy, the ECFA may prove to be one gift horse that the people of Taiwan would rather not look into the mouth. The ECFA may well prove to be a political tool that masquerades as a trade instrument to achieve China's ultimate goal of absorbing Taiwan. Strategic, political, and cultural influences are all closely tied to economics. Washington cannot cede supremacy in economic influence over the Pacific to Beijing. A U.S.-Taiwan free trade agreement will boost U.S. exports to Taiwan, will expand the U.S. market share in Asia, and will strengthen bilateral ties. Taiwan is currently the 10th largest trading partner of the United States and the 6th largest destination of U.S. agricultural products, so it is a desirable market for U.S. goods and U.S. services. Studies by the U.S. International Trade Commission show that U.S. exports to Taiwan would grow at a rate of approximately 16% per year if a U.S.-Taiwan free trade agreement were to be enacted. Taiwan, as all of us know, is a democracy that supports a free market, that supports the rule of law, that supports human rights, and it provides a transparent, free, and stable environment for U.S. investment and business opportunities in Asia. It is a sad fact that most countries refrain from an FTA with Taiwan out of fear of the reprisals from communist mainland China. The Taiwanese workforce and the Taiwanese economy are increasingly left out and are negatively impacted due to this isolation. A U.S.-Taiwan FTA will help Taiwan break out of this international isolation. A U.S.-Taiwan free trade agreement can also help halt China's growing economic and political leverage over Taiwan and give Taiwan more confidence in negotiations with China. Now is the time for the administration to begin forward in pursuing an FTA with our good friend, our democratic ally, our stalwart pal when it comes to all things that are good in terms of human rights, in terms of a free market, in terms of a strong economy, and that is our good friend and trusted ally, Taiwan. Let's do it. Let's do it now. Thank you so very much. Thank you. And I was afraid that this podium was going to eat me and just swallow me whole.